everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guest today is such a dose of sunshine. She creates such happy spaces with her music, with her art, and she is here to win all your heart, of course, with that fantastic debut in Archies. Talk about the very versatile Dot. Hello. Nice to see you. I'm glad we are doing this. But like I said, I think everybody would like to know a little more about Dot. Let's start there. Why is your name Dot? Why did you want to sort of give yourself this really unique and cute name?
So Dot is my stage name. So anytime I perform or any music that I put out, it's under the name of Dot. And the story behind the name is basically that when I was very young, 9, 10 years old, my mom and I used to color into these coloring books. And I'm a perfectionist, so I like to have everything in the lines perfectly. You know, if it's a flower, then the pink has to be the petal and the center has to be yellow and the whatever. But my mom, she used to come in and she used to just do dots all around the page or like make little designs or this or that. And I was like, Mom, why are you doing this? You're ruining my picture. Keep it in the lines. What are you? I was like a little, director. and she just said, a dot is so small and so simple, but it adds so much to the picture. So that line kind of stuck with me. You know, a dot is small, but it's significant. And I think that's what I would like to do with my music and with my acting or whatever I do in life. I want to be small but significant.
I love that. I love that explanation of yours. But tell me, is it have you made this a rule in your house as well to your parents that you cannot call me Aditi?
No.
Is it like a strict thing for them as well?
It's basically a public persona, right?
Correct.
Like it's not a persona, it's me only.
Your friends still call you Aditi?
They call me Aditi, yeah. But when I was in the UK, though, I did introduce myself as Dot, and people called me Dot there. So I go by both. I'm okay with, you can call me whatever you want. I'm still the same person.
This is such a happy time for you, Dot. I thought a lot of Ethel, which is a little you as well, now that I've spoken to you for a while. But is that only my assumption there, or did you actually, certain parts that you really felt like, this girl is actually a little bit me?
I mean, see, Zoya definitely cast each and every one of us according to, she saw something in us of the character, right?
Correct.
So that there's definitely an Ethel energy about me. And I don't know if I've ever been quite that boy crazy, like if you think about Ethel from the comics. I am a bit boy crazy. I do probably get a little boy crazy sometimes.
I love the honesty here.
But, but what Zoya has done with the character, she's added so many more layers to it. She's not the same old gawky Ethel that's in the books.
Yeah.
She's also ambitious, and she also stands up for what she wants. So for me, that was an interesting twist to the character, and it really, if she was just that, I don't know if I would have loved playing her as much, because she had more nuance to her in the film, I think. I mean, it's such a, Zoya always takes on the biggest challenges, to set a film in that way, and to bring in the Anglo part, and to all the different elements that made up this film. Reading the script only, it was so interesting to me. It hooked me, I did read Archies a little bit here and there when I was. It's not exactly my generation. It's like from my mom's generation actually. It was definitely around the house, and I definitely read it. So it's nice also because a lot of films are quite dark nowadays. The kinds of things that people, and it's very important to have those kind of films around where you're very serious and you're talking about this or that. But I think Zoya wanted to infuse a little bit of lightness into the world, because there's so much heaviness all around us. It's nice to have that little piece of sunshine, and I think that's what Archies is, and that's why it was so special to be part of the project.
Which is why I started with saying that you are a dose of sunshine, literally taking from the debut that you made there. But let's take you back and ask you, do you remember your audition and how you cracked that? Let's start there.
So the story behind the audition is quite a funny one, because I was not initially brought on to be an actor. I was brought on as a musician. So Zoya wanted one of my songs asymmetrical. She'd been following my music for a while and she wanted asymmetrical to be part of the film. So we were restructuring some of it, rewriting some lyrics, and we had a Zoom call because at the time I was in the UK. So we had this Zoom call to discuss the reworking of the lyrics, and as we were on the call, she was like, "Do you act?" And I was like, "No, I mean a little bit in school, but not professionally at all." She said, "Will you audition? I think you might be able to crack this character." So then I prepared for the audition. I called my mom. She's in theatre, so she knows a little bit about that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So she told me, okay, read the script a million times because that's the most important thing. They will ask you to, they might ask you to do the scene one way and then do it a different way and then try a different angle to it. And so you have to be on your toes a little bit. So I kept that in mind, and she said just try your best, So I remember, I think I had like a toilet roll or something. It was a hair scene I had to audition on, where I'm doing Betty's hair. So I had this toilet roll and I was like brushing it like with a pen or something. I just created these props and it was over Zoom. And from there I did two, three auditions, and then I came to India and I did it.
So that's fantastic. You're talking about that scene where you explained to her saying that, like, Archie calls out everybody.
Every girl, yeah.
She's such a cheerleader, Ethel. She's also that one friend in your group who always reminds you, babe, you're more than your relationship and your boyfriend.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just love that about her.
She's not taking anything from anyone, you know, she's her own person.
The thing is that while she's been quiet about whom she likes and not being open about it, but she wants to protect her friends, right?
Yeah.
And is that something that you relate to as well? Are you as a person also that person who, well, you will ignore the red flag, but you won't let your friend ignore them?
I think we all are. I think we can very easily see when it's not us, But I'm definitely someone who, I have the closest group of tight-knit friends, and they have the best, intelligent, most empathetic conversations with me, and they are girls, at the end of the day. I feel like girls know how to talk to each other in that way and to talk about...
Female friendships are the best.
Yeah, they are so good. Yeah.
So it's fantastic. Talking about female friendships, it must have been really nice to come to a set which had so many female characters also.
Yeah.
So I want to know how that female bond has started with Sohana, you and Khushi. And how did you all, because there was such a beautiful comfort level between the three of you.
Yeah, for sure.
When you watch the BTS or when you see promotions, or even, when you have to do a few songs and all of that. So I want to know okay, let's start with first meets to and post, how you all built that bond.
So I actually didn't know who was in the film. I didn't know who they were. I just came in thinking they'll be actors, whatever, and they are. So my first impression was just like, oh, here's some nice people. And then later on, it was like, oh, she's so and so, it's whatever. So that thing came later. So it was really good because we just met and we bonded like people. And with the girls especially, I think we all bonded, we were all a gang. And we play a lot of games together and we hang out, and we just came as a pack, wherever we went. But with the girls especially, I think, number one, girls always have like a special connect with each other because there are certain things that I think guys just don't get. But also because we had the skating song. That whole song is just girls, and we spent a lot of Dishum, yeah.
Who has contributed to? You have.
Yeah, musically also, of course, I contributed, but also just like learning how to skate with them meant that I was spending more time with them, and falling together, laughing together, dancing together. It just became such a natural friendship. And so I think definitely you're right. That female bonding thing definitely happened.
So let's talk about first meets, like I asked.
Sorry.
So tell me when you first met Zohana, Khushi, Vedang, all individually, how it was, and then like how it turned out to be, like how the perception kind of changes when you post.
Honestly, you can't really tell too much when you first meet. See, we all met at dance rehearsals. That was where we first met.
Correct.
And I remember, particularly for me, because I was the last one to join the group, we had these bottles, like reusable bottles that were there for us in the studio, and they were all labeled, you know, like Dilton, whatever, Jughead, Veronica, and Ethel was there. Or was it the character names or the real names? I don't remember, but they were all labeled. And when I came, I think was it Khushi or someone said, we've been waiting, we've been seeing that bottle with your name on it for all this time, and you're finally here, you complete us and all that. So it was a really welcoming space. And everyone was just sweet and encouraging. Agastya's were very physical, so he gave a big hug, and I think Vedang was like, really love your music and all of that.
Oh,
and
so cool, he followed you and all that.
Yeah, they all had done a bit of research, I think. Every time a cast member joined, they'd all sort of figured out, oh, okay, it's this person, and they follow their work and they saw. I think when Santana joined also, they were all like, oh, you're such a great dancer, because she's a dancer.
Yeah.
And with the girls also, it was just like, see, Suhana is a dancer naturally anyway, so I was very impressed by her, the way that she carried herself in the rehearsal studio. And Khushi was just a sweetheart. So all of us together just became, I don't know how else to say it. It was so much so all of us that I couldn't really single anybody out in a certain way. It was just all really friendly and lovely.
Tell me, how was that musical journey for you, right? How did you start with becoming this artist that you are today? I know that you've studied so much of music, you know, people probably don't know that you come from a very accomplished sort of music background because you've really worked towards it. Let's talk about how you did that. Of course, then we know Archies and stuff, but before that, because there's a lot of music you've been putting out. Yeah. And let's make sure more people listen to it.
Sure. So yeah, music, I studied since I was a young 6-7-year-old. I started piano classes, and I did Hindustani vocals also when I was very young. So the interest was always there. And then I made a very conscious choice to go to music college. And you know, because my parents are creative, it never was a problem with them. So I went to study in Wales. I chose a smallish university in a coastal town in North Wales called Bangor University, and my degree was sort of half creative writing and half music.
Correct.
Because I'm interested in songwriting ultimately, more so than being a performer or anything. For me, it's the writing. So, and while I was at university, I was studying a bunch of musical things: composition, classical singing, whatever, all those things. And we had these practice rooms, little cubicles, where there were, you know, there was an upright piano or whatever, some instrument that you could play, and you had to sign in and you had to go in and practice. Yeah. And in those practice rooms, I started to write music, and I wrote 10-12 songs that I uploaded on YouTube. In fact, these were songs that I would write, and then I would go and play them at like local pubs and whatever. We had open mic nights, so that was a big thing on every Tuesday in the Bellevue. We used to have open mic nights, and I would play originals. And then Everybody Dances to Techno blew up on the internet, and suddenly I was getting a lot of attention, and then I came home on holiday, and people were recognizing me like outside my house on the street. So cool. So that was damn cool. It was scary but cool.
Scary
and of course it's scary. It's like when it happens for the first time, it's like whoa, you know. But very cool. And then subsequently we did a tour. So I did like a jazz trio tour, and we went. I think it was Delhi, Pune, Bangalore, Bombay and Goa we did, and I played those songs, and you know, there was this particular moment I remember in Bonobo in Bombay. There was a queue. It was a queue from the stairs to the ground, and it was a small venue, but it was packed, and and we played Everybody Dances to Techno, and I couldn't hear myself because the audience was so loud.
Along with you.
Yeah, they were singing every single lyric, and that was the moment I was like, wow, people are really listening. And since then I've come out with an album called Khamotion. I've got a couple singles, and I never uploaded those YouTube songs onto Spotify and people keep asking me to this day, like, why don't you do that and all. And so now I'm actually coming out with an album called Practice Rooms, which is, I've literally taken those songs and I've put them in an album, and I've not even re-recorded them, because I've tried to re-record them, and you know what happens when you go into the studio, you lose that
Initial
nostalgia
vibe.
and that charm, because the whole point of those songs was that they were raw and they were honest. It was an exercise in honesty. So even what I'm putting on Spotify now, it has all the mistakes, it has all the rough and raw vocal qualities that now I would never sing like that, because that was 6 years ago, right? So I've grown as a musician, but I just thought, you know, it's more, those songs don't belong to me anymore, they belong to the public and whoever likes them. And so they deserve to have it on whatever platform they want. So that's what Practice Rooms is all about.
When you start getting more attention, and you had such a big debut with Archies, and so much attention comes to you right now, particularly now, you see people writing to you on Instagram, everything's just 2x times more than the attention that you were getting. Is it scary that you will lose who you truly are, and you have to hold on to this person because everybody around you is telling, be more curated, be more perfect, and why don't you like put out this kind of pictures, and why don't you put out this kind of music and re-record stuff? Does it scare you, or does that bother you?
It's definitely a concern. I don't know if it scares me. There are lots of things that scare me about this whole thing. It is overwhelming. There are a lot of, you know, it's a huge deal. So naturally it's a bit, you know, intimidating in points. But about being authentic, see, I have a very good support system. I've got my family and I've got my friends, and they are never going to let me be any different than who I am. You know, and I'm always checking with myself to keep, and it's so hard because you know, in the film world you're always looking at your face, right? You're in the mirror, in the camera, in whatever, and you know, day to day, normally, like, I would never do that, look at my face so much and be so concerned with every minute detail. So you do have to be a little on guard, I think, against that. And also, I've had people telling me what to do for years. Of course, because any small thing that you make or do, everyone has an opinion about it. So I can only be an artist. I can only do what I need to do for my art, and yes, I do have to be careful of not doing something for the sake of doing it, and to do it because it's coming from a place of honesty. That's always been the thing for me, and I'm not going to lie, it's not always easy. There are times where it's difficult, but because it's an aim, because it's very much part of me to be who I am, and whatever that means, you know. Also, what does that mean? Who are you? Everybody struggles with this question, I think, and yeah, so I'm still figuring it out. I don't have it all worked out. Sometimes I make mistakes, probably, and yeah, we can only try, right?
You know, I was talking to Zoya about you know, about a conversation I was having with both Zoya and Reema about shooting with so many people together, right? And I think they've been able to give equal attention to everybody, and that's a difficult thing to do when you're working with a cast, right? Maintaining all of their storylines and everything else, and they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, Zoya often does. I mean, only does pretty much ensembles.
But I mean, you know, there's so much hoopla, like you said, around when it was getting released as well, right? About everybody else. I want to know, how do you stay secure in a set like that? And because, you know, when I asked Zoya, I said you should ask the kids as well. And I said, maybe when I meet them, I will. Because you'll also have been protected by your production houses and stayed in a certain way and all. But now I think you're truly like your own person post it, right? Like more individual personalities come out, and more you comes out.
See, I think on set though, we all helped each other because we really were friends. And we each, like Betty says in the film, we each get good and bad in our lunchbox. So everybody's situation is different. And yes, we're very different people, all of us, personality wise just. But we found a way to lean on each other. So that really helped, I think, to stay grounded. And number two, I don't like, obviously when you're playing a character, you get into that zone, right? And I was in that zone for 2 years, and I do think it's time for me to just reconnect with my roots a little bit and think, okay, I'm not just Ethel, I'm also Dot or Aditi or whatever I am. So that, I think that may take a little time for me to just re-remember all those things. And I have my support system for that. I have my friends and I have my family to keep reminding me of who I am, you know. Yeah, and I think I think this is the hardest thing. For me, it's been so far the hardest thing about being an actor. I don't know if I can even call myself that because I've done only one film. But
you can, because you're very good in the film. When you're good, you can call yourself an actor.
But I think the hard part about it, I'm guessing, is that every time you do a role, you have to really dedicate yourself to that role. And so where does the actor begin and where does the person begin? I'm sure that that's a struggle for a lot of people. And based on every role, you must be changing a little bit, you know. I wonder if that happens. It probably happens, I don't know. Probably. We shall see.
We shall see, but you've put it very beautifully. You have cut the noise. You know, with love comes also breakbacks. So have you had that conversation? Because we all know how the internet is. You haven't gotten much, but trolling is a thing. So how do you protect yourself from it as an artist? How do you know when to sieve through what is real love and what is just blind hate?
See, like you said, I've been very lucky.
Yeah.
Like when I started off on the internet, I got a lot of love. It's been very kind to me. And in fact, I've gotten some beautiful messages from people, from my music or from the acting, whatever it might be. And I really think the internet can be a wonderful place. I've made friends through the internet, one of my closest friends. When it comes to like the negative things, there's definitely a section which is creative critique or worthwhile critique that's worth listening to, that might exist. And then with the hate, you know what's happened? I've read so many comments and so many things about so many people that I've become a little numb to it.
Really?
In the sense of like, it becomes very clear to you that everybody has an opinion and everyone has a take, just like everybody has a different favorite character from the film, right? And that's a great thing. That means that the ensemble has worked, right? Because somebody relates to a Veronica, someone relates to Ethel, someone relates to Jughead. So it's been very interesting to see the range of feedback that we've gotten. And for me, it just means that, you know, everybody has their thoughts, and yes, there'll be some people who are just talking for the sake of talking, and you can't really control it. That's the other thing. You have to let go a little bit about what you can control and what you can't control, and to just appreciate the lovely things coming through. That's the primary thing, because you've connected with someone in some way, you know.
Ignore the blind hate, basically. That's the advice you give to people.
Pretty much. I mean, I know it's hard to do, but I think when you get exposed to it so much, it maybe starts to not matter as much. I don't know, maybe that's this stage in my life. Maybe 2 years down the line, I'll look at it and I'll go, oh gosh, I can't deal with this, or I don't know. It's still new territory, right? So we don't know how to exactly deal with it yet. Yeah.
What do your parents and friends think about the stardom that you are getting now? The kind of, you know, even more attention that you're getting. What do you think?
My
what
friends,
are the advices coming in? What are the, like, listen, don't change and all?
Yeah, I don't think they expect me to change at all. I don't think they think I would change. But, you know, my friends are super excited. I took 2 of my best friends to the premiere, so they were like just starstruck and they loved it. They really enjoyed it.
With all the Bollywood celebs coming in.
Yeah, they're really big Bollywood buffs, so they really enjoyed it.
Are you a Bollywood buff as well?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, I think I just enjoy good storytelling wherever it comes from, you know. I'm not so much into the gossip and all that kind of thing. It's just like filmmaking, you know, from anywhere. In terms of, and my mom, she just keeps reminding me to take time for myself. She doesn't think I'm going to change. I have to tell them that, hey, if I'm being weird, just stop me, just tell me, and they will be that for me. They'll do that.
You'll have to name one person from the Archies gang of yours, from your cast members, who best fits this line. Okay?
Okay.
And it has to be quick. So first person that comes in your mind.
Okay.
A person who's always seen giving advice, saying, "ये कर लो, ऐसे कर लो, मुझे लगता है ऐसा ठीक है." Like थोड़ा ज्ञान.
Maybe me.
Really? That's
I don't know. I don't think any of us, to be perfectly honest, but
But if you know about something, why can you not give a little gyan? It's
yeah,
okay.
maybe, I don't know.
Okay, you. Okay, I love it. Someone who's always on time or before
Khushi.
time. Always.
Yeah, Khushi.
You?
Before time. No.
Before time?
Before time. She's very punctual.
Okay.
Yeah.
The person who took maximum time to get ready when you were not shooting your plans together to hang.
All of the girls.
All the
girls. Yeah.
I always think even boys take a lot of time. Though.
Yeah, but it was us. It was definitely
Okay, fine.
us.
I like it like but it was us.
Yeah.
Okay. Always knew the best spots to go and like just hang and eat. Like if you
Agastya. Yeah.
all the best spots.
Yeah, because he was like the party planner almost. Like
Oh, for y'all.
not party, but like just like where to
Hang
hang out and where to eat. Also, he always had like a good restaurant or something, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Person who's very emotional on
Mihir.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He looked like that also, no?
Yeah, he's very, things touch him a lot, you know. Yeah.
Beautiful. Always, who do you think has the best advices when it comes to fashion?
Suhana.
Yeah?
Oh no, also Yuvraj. Suhana and Yuvraj. Yeah,
Really?
both.
Yuvraj also, isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Who do you think is the funniest?
It has to be between Agastya. Suhana is also very witty, and Vedang sarcastic. That's what I'll say.
Can be counted, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that you thought from the gang that you thought was actually one of the most like sane people to go and hang with when you are going through something. You know what I mean? Like who would probably calm you down. Let's say the calming factor.
I think Khushi and Santana who plays Midge.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. The energy-
Empathetic people, you know. Yeah.
So kind of the calming people. In the
Yeah.
I love that. All right, look at you. You've done very well. Thank you so much. It's
Thank
been
you.
so wonderful knowing you a little bit more better than we knew you on screen. And like I said, I think I love who you are. And I honestly, really will cheer for you. And I hope that you stay just the way you are.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sending you lots of love.
Thank you.